Equine infectious anemia, EIA, in horses is also known as swamp fever and is caused by the equine infectious anemia virus. The virus occurs worldwide in all horse populations. It is a notifiable disease, which means that a vet must notify government if this disease is found. There are two forms of this condition. The acute form can show outward signs of fever, raised temperature, depression, increased heart and respiratory rate, hemorrhaging, bloody diarrhea, loss of coordination, poor performance, ataxia, rapid weight loss, skin swelling and jaundice. The chronic form of EIA may be characterized by recurring bouts of fever, raised temperature, depression, anemia, weakness or weight loss, interspersed with periods of normality. Subclinically infected horses may not show any clinical signs of disease. How does it spread? The virus is transmitted between horses by transfer of infected blood or blood products. This can occur in the following ways. By insect vectors such as biting flies, including horse, deer and stable flies, and, very rarely, mosquitoes. By administration of infected blood products and unauthorized blood-based veterinary medicinal products. By contaminated veterinary or dental equipment or other equipment that may become contaminated by blood and act as a vector between animals, for example rasps, twitches, and currycombs. From mare to foal via the placenta, or, rarely, via virus-contaminated colostrum or milk in new-born foals, and by transmission through semen is uncommon but cannot be written off. Both clinically and subclinically affected horses can be a source of infection for other horses, although animals suffering acute disease or recurring bouts of chronic disease are likely to be the most highly infectious. There is no protection as there is no vaccine available for equine infectious anemia. Prevention of equine infectious anemia is therefore based on the establishment of freedom from infection by blood, serological, testing. Clinical diagnosis is not always possible. Laboratory diagnosis, through blood testing, is essential. If you suspect this disease, call your vet without delay. Detectable antibodies are usually present in the blood 7 to 14 days after infection and remain present for the rest of the horse's life. Diagnosis should be by means of the Coggins test, which is currently the only test recognized officially for the purpose of international movement of horses. What to do if equine infectious anemia is confirmed? Control of equine infectious anemia is by preventing transmission of infection to other horses through insect, vector, control and by avoiding procedures which may cause the transfer of blood products. If infection is suspected, or a horse has been in contact with an infected horse, these actions should be carried out by stopping all movement of horses on and off the premises, seek veterinary advice, isolate the horse. Any directions given by the Animal and Plant Health Agency must be followed, including implementation of insect, vector, control, treat the affected, as advised the attending veterinary surgeon. Veterinary procedures represent a particular risk. Veterinary equipment must therefore be either destroyed after use or appropriately sterilized. Inform owners of horses at, or due to arrive at, the premises and owners of horses which have recently left the premises. Stables, equipment and vehicles used for horse transport must be cleaned and disinfected. Good hygiene is crucial. Use a different team to care for each group of horses if possible, or change all clothing, sterilize footwear, use hand gel and use different equipment. And lastly, the virus can survive in blood, feces and tissue, so all such material must be removed and destroyed promptly and surfaces disinfected. Horses that have come into contact with an infected horse or a horse which is suspected of being infected must be quarantined for a minimum of 90 days post-exposure. Blood testing must be repeated as directed until freedom from disease is confirmed.